G'day everyone, I am X-Ray Racer 1 and welcome to part 12 of the Speed Passion LM1 build series. Part 12, we will be installing the electronics onto the chassis. Now, part of the electronics have been installed, and that is the steering servo. Now the rest of it will be motor, electronic speed controller and the receiver. Now I will be building the electronics I'll be using, especially the motor, will use for the class, the Le Mans class, where I believe the rules are being developed, but they're stipulating that a 17.5 turn motor be used, and I believe it can be boosted. I'm not too sure. For motor, I'm using a Speed Passion Competition 3.0 17.5 turn motor. I do also have, if I can just get it, I have a Novak Ballistic 17.5 turn motor. I've actually put motor plugs on it, and you'll see why in a second. For an ESC, I am using a Speed Passion Reventon S. This is a non-boosted speed controller, so that's actually good for blinky classes. Now I've got my receiver, and what you should do as well, when you're putting electronics in, it shows you in the book where to put it, but also try and think of what way you want the receiver to be orientated so it's easy access for the plugs, and it just makes it easy for access. Now what I'm going to be doing is, instead of using double-sided tape for the receiver, I'm actually using Velcro. Because I have several models and I only have 4 receivers, I quite often have to take receivers out and put them in other models and so on and so forth. So it's got sticky on the bottom there. So what I'll do is I'll take this off and we'll put it in. Just pay attention to where it is so it doesn't bind on the suspension link, and we'll put it in carefully about there. Make sure it's a nice tight fit. Make sure you got plenty of antenna wire to go into there, and use a bit of old antenna tube that I have here. Just thread that on so it looks nice and neat. There we go. Alright, now we'll just connect up our servo just so it's out of the way. Okay, so don't worry about that. The battery will go over it, and it'll probably just sit like that. Doesn't really matter. Okay, now with the Speed Passion motor, it has plugs that connect into it. That's why I put plugs on that Novak motor, because the Speed Passion system uses that, and it has these plugs. So what we'll do is we'll connect up the motor, and on the motor it's what they call a 3-phase motor, so you have A, B, C. So make sure that the wires that you start with are A, B, C, so you don't get it round the wrong way. So that's A, it's B, and C. Alright, and because this is a censored motor, we will use the sensor wire. Make sure it's around the right way. I might just put that like that. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll just put that in at the moment, like so. You might find it a bit of an awkward fit at first, but once it's in, you'll be right. Okay. Now you'll need a pinion for this. With the gear, I have a gear ratio app on my phone, so I worked out the gear ratio I'll need for this to be fast enough. So first of all, we have to get, for lack of better expressions, get it in the hole. Okay, so our 2mm driver and screw. You'll need to look at where the holes are. You got the mounting points here. It's going to be an awkward fit. Might have to just... That's probably half the reason why. Just make sure that the wires are around the right way. Are you kidding me? This motor ain't gonna fit by the looks of things. Alright folks, so forget the speed passion motor. It's not gonna fit. So for this purpose, in comes the Novak. Okay. Now I had another screw here somewhere. Okay, hang on. Just bear with me a sec, folks. I didn't really intend it to go like this. Okay, now the 1.5mm driver. Make sure you got the motor shaft around the right way. Get slips on. It should do just slip on. There we go. When you put it on, make sure it's in line, like fairly even with the spur gear. Okay. So when you set the mesh, make sure that you don't have it too tight and not too loose. And just make sure that there's a little, when you do it, if you can hear it clicking, there's a little bit of play there, so that's what you want. Okay. So, connect the wires up. A, B, and C, and connect up. What we'll have to do is use my pliers to get the okay. That's the sensor wire in. Now what we'll do is get some double-sided tape. You can use the stuff that's included. I like to use Palmer PSE double-sided tape. Had a pair of scissors, there they are. Okay. Press down firmly. Alrighty. Now we just hook up the speed controller to the receiver, and we'll just get that. We've got this little off bit of double-sided tape. Put this on the switch. And put the switch on. Alright folks, well it's pretty straightforward. Tell you what we will do is we'll put the wheels and tyres on. How's that sound? That sounds good. So when you're doing it, I've already gone ahead and just tested one to make sure it's right. You have two bearings. And put them in the front wheel. And sorry about that folks, I thought my camera was chucking a spaz there for a second. Okay, so what we do, make sure they're on properly. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll just put them on quite easily. The amount of toe out this has is unbelievable. I'll have to it's probably got about 20 degrees of toe out on it. Alright, so I'll have a look at that later. But first we'll put the nut on. Make sure it spins freely. Yeah, what the hell. Alright. For the rear wheels, there's a flanged nuts. Same for the other side. Alright people, it's actually looking like a chassis. So really that is the completion of the chassis. As you can see, it's got like 50 million degrees of toe out. I'll have to go over that. Stay tuned for part 13 where I'll go over painting and building the body. Stay tuned people.